Welcome to the channel today. It is middle of the afternoon on August 16th. A lot of thunder around us. We've been getting a lot of thunder here lately, not getting hardly any rain. I think my dog stirred up a rat or something. Anyway, we're going to be planting the two things I've never planted. One of them is going to be the Puerto Rican black bean. I've never even grown that before. But the other one I've never grown in the fall has been cucumbers. Now I got to looking through my seeds. I picked the newest seeds that I forgot, and both of them were seeded for the 2022 year, so it should be okay. The first one is going to be stripe, whatever that word is. Okay. And it's a 60-day maturity, so that's good. Had 99%. Now I'm not going to dig a trench for these. I have watered these with several buckets of water up and down it. So I'm just going to push them in the ground and cover them back up. And just take them, just push them in the ground. And that's fine. Go about ever. I got plenty of seeds, so that's not that big of a deal. I didn't want to do it like that. But I'm just going to set these out through here. Here with it. And you do want to make sure whenever you do something like this, I still got these ants. I'm going to try something with these ants. See if I can't get them to quit being so bad. Sometimes you want, got one more. Sometimes you want to try this when you're doing it, is see just how deep in the soil that you've been watering as it got down to. And see here, I've got enough water. That's pretty deep, okay? If you just do it over this one time and come back, you're not getting near as deep as you think you did. But I've done this a few times. And then over here, we're gonna plant the Eureka cucumber. I don't know if these are pickling cucumbers or not, but once they come up, we'll be able to figure that out. They look different. It is steaming hot. So we won't stay out here very long. These may be pickling cucumbers here. I believe those other ones, from the looks of the seed, they were slicing cucumbers. So we'll find out if I'm right or not. Ant holes right there. Now, y'all might be, if you've seen this video that I made before, and you're looking where we're at right now, you may say, well, ain't that the place that you planted the beans? And yes, it is. And I got in here and I started looking for a good spot to put this in, and I was going to put them in another spot. And I thought, well, we ain't doing nothing with this spot here. So we got in here and we put the T-post in, set the wire up, and after we got all through, my son looked at me and said, well, ain't this where you planted the, well, he said peas, but ain't this where you planted the beans? Yeah. But I already had this stuff set up, so that can happen sometimes. Sometimes the germination is not as quick to come up as your memory is to go away. So that's what we got on the cucumbers. Now let's go take a look. I have not sprayed my tomatoes like I said I was going to. They need to be sprayed with something. I did get here and water them. They're not looking good. Some of that's going to be because I got these others here that's got all this disease all in it. So that's not good. This is blooming right now. It's not going to produce any fruit, but they're getting eat up with stuff, with different fungus and stuff. So I've got to get in there and spray them with something. And this is blooming here. So, they're growing good, but already getting hit with one of the blights, I'm afraid. even though Florida 91 is a highly resistant variety, they still, just because you're resistant, I mean, they won't catch it. And that may be what it's doing here. Here's the corn. It's just now coming up. These rows here look better. These rows hadn't looked as good. I went ahead and put the drip system on it. I'm putting it on for 1 hour, hoping that this maybe will get a rain, because usually after you water, you tend to get rains. But see, that cloud makes me want to go in there and put some fertilizer out, because look at all these big clouds building up and it's looking good. But the worst thing you can have if you put out synthetic fertilizer on top of the ground is get a 1/4 inch of rain or 2/10 of rain. It wets it down, it puts it in suspension. That urea, especially urea fertilizer, will go into a gas and go back into the atmosphere. You know, we're 80% nitrogen in the atmosphere, and that's what happens. I did read something out today I thought was funny. I may offend somebody, I don't care. But they were saying, well, you know, we have so many problems with gardening that must be putting something in the air. And I'm going, who would be doing that? Why don't you put something in the air that would destroy stuff? I said, we've always had problems in gardening. We've always had, people don't remember the Great Depression? One of the things that made the Great Depression so bad was also had the Dust Bowl during about the same time. And that wasn't stuff in the air, that was just the gardening practices. We hit a drought and we were plowing up all this ground and we didn't know how to take care of it, and it was blowing away. You know, it had nothing to do with somebody putting stuff in the air. But, you know, maybe someday people will prove me wrong, but I've just, you know, that same thing people keep talking about, the changes in the weather. I'm 60 years old now, 61 years old. That weather's always been changing. And I've talked to my dad and he talked about his grandpa. They said the same thing. One thing about weather, it's always going to change. You never get 2 years identical. They can't predict things because, you know, like these hurricanes, it surprises them all the time. We got a hurricane now out in the Gulf, or not out in the, like it's not the Gulf, out in the Atlantic, Aaron. Yesterday, I keep up on those. I know one of our workers came from Puerto Rico, and she's going back to college, getting her master's. And I keep up with it, just, you know. And sure enough, that hurricane went from a category 2 to category 4 or 5 in just a few hours, like 6-8 hours. Yesterday, they weren't predicting that at all. They said it might get to category 4 by Monday or Tuesday. And here it was Saturday morning, 160 miles an hour. But you know, things happen and things change. It does seem like they intensify a lot quicker, but that could just be they've always done that. We just didn't know about it. But anyway, this here, and these are very precious seeds, and I'm only going to take out 8 of them because I only have 16 seeds, I believe. I think I counted 1, 2, 4. That's 8. So I got to make the 8 seeds last to here. And I'm going to start here and move that way, and then start here and move that way. Because what I don't want to do is start down there and move up and run out of seeds by the time I get to here. Okay? Because I've already proven with the others that I kind of forget why I do things. I did the same thing here. I put several cans of water in here. I'm confident that you got a lot of, and I'm just going to push them in the soil, cover them back up, and go about a foot, push it in the soil, cover it back up, and I hope that's a mole cricket that does all that digging. I hate those things. I'm going to put another one right here. So be close to that deal there. And I might even go through there and water a little bit more after I'm through. This soil has a little more clay in it than the soil over there. That is one thing your gardens can change. The soil in them, even, you know, I got a pretty good sized garden, but you know, this soil down here is really totally different. Not totally different, it's just different. It's not, none of this is a clay. This has more loam in it. And see what I was talking about? Well, you can't see it here. Well, if this just run over, you dig down here just a little bit sometimes and you run out of that soil. That moisture is just that deep right here. Oh. And that soil's so hot, it's kind of burning my knees when I was down there. And again, well, I didn't do it right. Well, no, I want to do it this way. This time I'm starting down here, and I move that away. That way I know I got seeds over there. And you're just hoping that, yeah, I'm going to water this again because this, and actually that mole cricket right down there, I hope you don't go right down there and eat all my beans. I don't like mole crickets. Even if they're not eating, I think they eat a variety of things, including bugs. But I don't know. 2 seeds. And I got these seeds from Jerry's garden. Got 3 more. So move all that stuff. And these were the seeds that I was going to plant earlier in the year. And somebody lost the seeds. I was thinking it's one of my kids. And then I found them. And it wasn't my kids. So we won't say who it was. It's not one of my kids, one of my wife. But anyway, this here is the okra. And I have not really kept up with it that much. Let's just see how it does. Like I said, we don't eat okra, it's just people at church. So peas are starting to make. And I will show you on these Red Ripper peas, they make a really long pod. And at that stage is when they're ready to pick. So that one's ready, that one's just a little bit over ready. But anyway, deer hadn't been back in here. A couple of good ones over here. And I need to take some of these and set them up. I have not watered these either. I keep hoping we get a rain. We keep missing it. Or we get a light rain. My wife came and said, oh, it rained really hard today. I said, yeah, but for 5 minutes it doesn't do you any good. But anyway, thanks for watching. And we're going to get back inside. It's too hot out here. Bye.